UCH this morning, national officers of People's Democratic Party on solidarity visit to Governor Udom Emmanuel. Impressive turnout of students and pupils recorded. The acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Uche Secondus, and members of the Central Working Committee have arrived at Akwa Ibom State on a solidarity visit to Governor Udom Emmanuel. Addressing the crowd of PDP supporters on arrival at the Ibom International Airport, Mr. Secondus described the invasion of Government House by the DSS as an act of impunity and coup against the people of the state.
Is that the good people of Akwa Ibom State, the entire population, voted for PDP. That is the truth. And we must defend the truth. We must defend the truth. I want to thank you for coming out in mass to receive my team. And I believe that Akwa Ibom State will continue to be the PDP state.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, yesterday opened defense at the ongoing Akwa Ibom State Electoral Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja. INEC defense counsels, led by Onyekachi Ikpeazu, called 2 witnesses who testified that the electoral process was duly followed in Akwa Ibom State in the areas of accreditation, voting, and declaration of results at the authorized centers by witnesses who said there was no violence and that the election public and private primary secondary schools in the state have resumed for the 2015-2016 academic session, with some schools recording impressive turnout of students and pupils. AKBC 45 News went to some schools to monitor.
Bring the children out for a brief sanitation.
A trip to St. Benedict School, Okonitam, revealed a good turn-up of pupils, while teachers were on hand to impart knowledge. The school headmistress, Mrs. Dinah Michael Latham, said that admission was ongoing and all teachers have reported to duty.
We are trying to admit the new pupils. We admitted them in the morning. So I have allocated them to different classes with their teachers. They are doing teaching there in the classroom.
A pupil narrated how she spent her holidays.
When I was at home, I went to my grandmother's place and stayed 2 weeks and came back, and I took time to study at home.
The situation was not the same at the Tam Secondary School, where most students choose to hang around the highway while admission process for Junior and Senior Secondary 1 was in progress. Addressing students, the Principal General, Mr. Solomon Morin, advised them to encourage those yet to resume to come for classes. He urged parents and guardians to provide their children and wards with uniforms, books, and other requirements for smooth academic activities. Mr. Morin appealed to the state government to provide them with good classrooms, stressing that some classrooms were dilapidated.
So you have to come to this school with your books, complete uniform, lockers, your broom to keep the environment tidy, and your cutlasses to cut the grasses, and also other things that you know we can use to facilitate education in this place.
Some teachers who spoke with our reporter promised to do their best for the benefits of students and the society.
A 3-digit emergency number for emergency medical service is to be introduced by the Akwa Ibom State government. This and other plans to reposition the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Health for enhanced service delivery were unfolded by the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Ukpong, during a chat with newsmen. Dr. Ukpong said ambulances would be provided and ambulance drivers, paramedics, and other personnel trained and equipped with oxygen and medical requirements.
Existing in this state. And because of my exposure worldwide, I know that it's indispensable in the running of any good health system. and that is emergency medical service. Now, in the process of getting one, it might not be 911, but it will be 3 digits. Whether 112, 555, 511, whatever it is, when it is time, I will announce it. And plant a number of ambulances, maybe 2 or 3, because the aim is that the ambulance will be able to reach you within 15 to 20 minutes.
Other plans made to improve services at government health facilities at all levels, primary, secondary and tertiary, include the creation of a Directorate of Inspection to ensure that all hospitals have necessary facilities. The Commissioner for Health said periodic checks and unscheduled visits will be carried out to get medical personnel to properly do their jobs and to encourage those in need of medical services to patronize government hospitals. Dr. Ubong said a primary healthcare board will also be established so that medical services for people in rural communities could be improved, stressing that the health of the people is his priority.
For the establishment of primary healthcare development agency or primary healthcare board, that has been accepted and is going to be established. It's going to be backed by the law. The State Assembly will pass that law and will take out the primary healthcare system from the local government. So that we'll be having some subventions and other benefits directly from the federal government. When we do that, then that primary healthcare system is going to change. There will be a lot of improvement in the service.
The authorities of the State House of Assembly have begun the implementation of the House's recent decision to impound any vehicle driven by unauthorized personnel but bearing the number plates of the House. To this end, a Toyota Corolla vehicle with registration number Q3A AKHA was last week impounded by security personnel attached to the House of Assembly. Briefing reporters on the issue, the member representing Ikono State constituency and Chairman, House Committee on Security, Mr. Victor Udofia, said the House views the usage of such number plates by unauthorized persons very seriously. Although it could not be ascertained who the Toyota car belonged to, Mr. Udofia said after retrieving the number plate, the car would be sent to the Nigeria Police for thorough investigation.
Used by unauthorized persons should be returned back to the office of the TO within 24 hours. We went on air and the official letter was issued to the Commissioner of Police to implement this force.
The Commissioner for Economic Development, Dr. Emmanuel Owodukit, has reiterated the determination of the Udom Emmanuel administration to develop every sector of the state's economy in order to make it an industrial hub. Dr. Owodukit gave the assurance when the Forum of Village Youth Presidents, Refong Ruko chapter, paid him a courtesy visit. The Commissioner said the inclusive economic development agenda and plans of Governor Udom Emmanuel for every constituency in the state, the citizenry were in for a pleasant surprise. The Commissioner enlisted the support of the people of Oron Nation and Akwa Ibom for the governor to succeed and appealed to all to rally round the governor. Dr. Owodukit, who charged the youth leaders to carry their members along, said it was incumbent on them to understand the policies of government and explain such policies to the people of their community. The Commissioner commended the efforts of the youths in fighting social vices in the area, but urged them to continue to sustain the peace in the area to attract a meaningful development, while assuring that some roads in the area have been earmarked for construction in 2016.
We are talking about economic development. There cannot be development, there is no peace. If the roads are going to be made, there has to be peace. The contractor and everybody have to be supported to do the roads.
The Director of Protocol of the Forum, Asukwa Effiong Edem, on behalf of the coordinator, Comrade Peter Enei, expressed appreciation to Governor Udom Emmanuel for appointing their son into the State Executive Council. The coordinator said the forum has helped cut down the activities of cultists, youth restiveness, communal crisis, political discrimination, and other vices in the local government area. Urefong Oruko, he said, is endowed with human and natural resources and appealed to the commissioner to use his wealth of experience as a renowned economist to attract more dividends of democracy to the area. The group appealed to the state government to come to their aid by providing scholarships, employment, and skills acquisition centers for youths of the area. The State Universal Basic Education Board says there is no law exempting deputy head teachers from teaching. The permanent secretary of the board, Pastor Praise Okon, stated this during a meeting with education secretaries from the 31 local government areas of the state. Imaumana filed in the report.
The permanent secretary noted that the position of deputy head is only a responsibility, stressing that it has come to the notice of the board that there were too many deputy heads and that they were not teaching pupils. He therefore warned that no deputy teacher should exempt himself from teaching, as it is a decision of the board. The number, he said, will be reduced after verification by the board to correct errors in the educational system. Pastor Presokon stated that only those who pass the verification test will be appointed heads and deputy head teachers. Pastor Okon explained that there were so many head and deputy head teachers who were appointed without due process, maintaining that teachers with such cases will be dropped since the board is poised to correct the irregularities. According to him, the appointment of head teachers and deputies should be based on merit. Pastor Prezogon congratulated the education secretaries on the appointment, stating that it was based on transparency and due process. He advised the newly appointed education secretaries to be committed to their duties, but condemned laxity among teachers, urging the education secretaries to ensure effective monitoring of schools. He encouraged the education secretaries to be computer literate, as internet facilities will soon be provided in their offices to make work easier for them. The SUBEB boss disclosed that the state government has appointed a 4-member education monitoring team to oversee the activities.
No teacher, no staff of SUBEB working anywhere will be cheated. What is due you, we will give to you. Nobody will be cheated.
The Director of Administration and Supplies, Mrs. Emaiko Akpan, addressed the issue of missing files and advised those who have been sick for long to retire voluntarily to help improve the academic sector of the state.
If you are changing records, no problem. If you have the facts, still good. But at the end of the day, you will be the one on the receiving end.
In an interactive session, other issues were raised, including prompt payment of salaries, as well as areas of pension and gratuity.
When we come back from the break, some mobile telephone subscribers have for some days now been either barred from ascending full services or been enjoying partial services. After the break, stay.
Land of great beauty and wonderful people. Here Mary Slessor called home until she passed on to greater glory. Here Lord Lugard lived and administered Nigeria. The hills roll like the waves and the waves rise like the hills. A land named after God, Akwa Ibom State, the land of the land of promise.
Step up to your destiny. Dagada, 23rd September 2015. It is time to step up to your destiny. Dagada, 23rd September 2015.
You're still watching AM News on the television service of AKBC 45. I am Samuel Udofia. Some mobile telephone subscribers have for some days now been either barred from accessing full services or been enjoying partial services, such as only receiving all non-able to make calls. This may have occasioned the influx of subscribers to offices of their network providers for restoration of services. When AKBC 45 News visited the MTN office along Ikorekwane Road by about noon yesterday, a large number of subscribers had thronged the premises. Findings by our reporter revealed that the barring of lines was a directive from the National Communications Commission, NCC. An official of MTN, who refused to neither disclose her name nor speak on camera, said those affected are to re-register their SIM cards as the data they had provided were considered inadequate. She said the exercise was in view of the present security situation in the country, but promised the staff of the organization were working round the clock to ensure a smooth exercise. Some of the affected subscribers, who also refused to speak on camera, conceded that they did not complete the registration of their lines. The subscribers spoke of the inconveniences they have suffered since their lines were cut off. The Nodo Area Temple of the Apostolic Church Nigeria has been dedicated to God. The historic dedication of the church 30 years after the Nodo area was created by the then Mainland Field Council of the church in December 1984 had national executive members of the church in attendance, as well as the executive members of the Akwa Ibom Territorial and Uyo Field Council. Udoaikom has details.
Shouts of hallelujah rent the air as excited faithful of the Nodo area struggle to catch a glimpse of the national president and his entourage as they arrive to inaugurate the magnificent edifice which will henceforth host Nodo area and major center activities. Receiving National Executive Council members and other area superintendents, led by a representative of the national president and Oron Field Superintendent, Pastor E. Oye, the Nodo Area Superintendent and Acting Uyo Field Superintendent of the church, Dr. I.N. George, appreciated God for the speedy completion of the befitting area temple building.
Today is a memorable day. Today is the day that the Lord has made.
Inaugurating the temple to the glory of God and the worship of the Lord, Pastor Oiuye invoked the presence of God and his glory. After the inauguration, the doors of the Nodo area temple were flung open for a symbolic service moderated by the acting field superintendent of the Uyo field of the church, Dr. I.N. George. Among those who attended the service were the paramount ruler of Ibesikwa Sultan local government area, Edidemi Taba Sietuk, and the Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Iniebong Essien.
God in his wisdom sent his servant in the person of Pastor Henry George to be the leader of our time. Within those 5 months of his stay in the area, he completed the pillar work and the upper wall, and most importantly, the roofing. He has succeeded in bringing the work to completion. To God be the glory.
It is very, very attractive. And we thank God for that building. We thank the person whom God used to bring that building to that level. And we pray for him, for God to give him a level where he can continue like that. We are happy
because that put us on the frame of things. People were expecting Nongodo to have that. We as leaders in the church, we are expecting. We are asking questions, why is it not done? Now that it's done, we thank God for it. And we are happy.
When I came here on February 19, I made a prophetic announcement that come what may, that 2015 Nongodo Major Convention will be held in that auditorium. And today that prophecy has come to manifestation.
The Nongodo Area Temple equally hosted its first official event, the 15th Uyo Field Major Convention for the Nongodo Major Center, comprising 5 areas of the Apostolic Church: Nongodo, Afari-Besikpo, Ikoro-Okpabio, 3 towns, and Nongokana. In a sermon on the theme, "Where there is no vision, people perish," the representative of the national president, Pastor E. Oye, warned Christians against divulging their visions to others, advising them to write their divine vision in books while praying continually for speedy manifestation. The Nongodo area of the Apostolic Church has had 9 area superintendents since the establishment of the area in 1984. The 9th, Dr. I.N. George, arrived in Nongodo on February 19, 2015. Udwakeko reporting.
Youths in Akwa Ibom State have been advised to be focused in their pursuit of their career and to respect constituted authorities. The Special Assistant to the Governor on Education Matters, Elder Udem Udofia, gave the charge in a lecture titled Self-Discipline at the just concluded 3-day National Youth Fellowship of the Apostolic Lutheran Church of Nigeria, held at the church's auditorium, Noku Akbaisima, Ibesukwasuten local government area. Elder Udofia charged them to be law-abiding, to live lives capable of promoting growth and development in their society. He called on members of the church to support the administration of Mr. Udom Emmanuel so as to be able to achieve his electioneering promises to the people, and donated trophies to the Youth Fellowship for its competition.
Yourself. In event of making mistakes, because there is no man that is above mistake, and there are things we do without knowing, and there are things we do with knowledge.
He called on members of the church to support the administration of Mr. Udom Emmanuel so as to be able to achieve his electioneering promises. The national president of the church, Elder Ime Udofia, thanks the governor's ADs for identifying with the church and called on members to always pray for peace, stability and success of the present administration.
For the past weeks, news, groundbreaking, all those things are the things he promised and fight with people. And he has started doing them.
On his part, the acting superintendent pastor of the church, Senior Pastor Aswabiet Ekbo, advised youths to shun vices capable of truncating their future and urged them to take advantage of the Christians' gathering to have their lives for better. He stressed the importance of good work, saying that God, who is the great rewarder, will reward them according to their works. In his remarks, the national chairman of the fellowship, Mr. Kufre Brown, expressed gratitude to God for his love and benevolence towards his members, describing the youth rally as a huge success.
So it's very, very okay.
The 2015 National Youth Rally, which had as its theme My Work and Reward, featured other lectures by Evangelist Anyedi Ekbo on Foundation, Mrs. Udwa Akban on Family Life Education, Song Competition, Bible Quiz, among others. Nigeria and France have discussed new strategies for partnership between both countries. This was revealed during President Muhammadu Buhari's 3-day official visit to France. An Akwa Ibom journalist is one of the 31 journalists from 15 African countries who has been announced as finalists of this year's CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist of the Year Awards. Mercy Akera tells us more on these and other stories.
President Muhammadu Buhari is still in France on a 3-day official visit on the invitation of President Francois Hollande. The two presidents have discussed new strategies of partnership that will enable Nigeria and its neighboring countries of Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Benin Republic to fight insurgency in the region and restore peace. President Hollande has pledged that his administration will assist the multinational joint task force with intelligence gathering and equipment needed to check the activities of insurgents in the region. President Hollande further announced that arrangements have been concluded for his country to invest 130 million euro in the development of infrastructure in Nigeria. President Buhari has appreciated the French government for showing interest in assisting Nigeria and has expressed Nigeria's readiness to partner France for the overall development of both countries. A journalist from Akwa Ibom, Mr. Ibanga Isane, is one of the 31 journalists from 15 African countries who have been announced as finalists of this year's CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist of the Year Awards. Mr. Isane, a graduate of Communication Arts Department of the University of Uyo, was nominated for his report on the brutal killings by soldiers at the Dangote Cement Factory in Benue State. The report, published by Premium Times newspaper in 2014, got justice for the families of those killed and also earned him an award at the 2014 edition of the Wole Soyinka Awards for Investigative Journalism. The other 4 Nigerian nominees are Arukaina Umukoro and Femi Asu of Punch newspapers, Adewole Emosu, Nigerian Tribune, and Kola Tubosun, a blogger at ktraveler.com. The CNN Multi-Choice African Journalist Award is open to African journalists, employed or freelancers who have made printed publication, broadcasts, or electronic medium articles, and whose primary audience are based in Africa. The winner will be announced in an elaborate ceremony in October. According to the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, 6 Nigerian pilgrims were among the 107 persons killed when a crane collapsed at Mecca's Grand Mosque in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. About 58,000 Nigerians were in Saudi Arabia for this year's Hajj. Meanwhile, the Sultanate Council in Nigeria has announced the celebration of Eid al-Kabir for Thursday, September 24, 2015. Mr. Malcolm.
With national and international news, we conclude our news package this morning. You can also watch AKBC News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And now to end the news, the top stories. National officers of the People's Democratic Party are in Akwa Ibom State for a solidarity visit to Governor Udom Emmanuel. The acting national chairman of the party, Uche Secondus, addressing supporters, condemned the invasion of Akwa Ibom Government House, Uyo, by operatives of the Department of State Security. Also, large turnouts of students and pupils have been recorded in schools as the 2015-2016 school year begins. That's our package. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Good morning.